আর কি যাইব এটা স্কুইজ করে দেয় না বুঝলাম
The first boundary from the bat of Brendan King to finish the over, 7 in that over.
এটা কোন
আমার কাছে সরকারি ভাতা আপনাদের টুকটা কিসে ভরসা পাই বিকাশ সরকারি ভাতা নিশ্চিন্তে ও প্রতিবার সময় মতো পেতে আপনার বিকাশ নাম্বারটি সমাজ সেবা অফিসে বন্ধন করুন শিয়া বাটার ও অ্যামোজয়েল সমৃদ্ধ লিলি বডি লোশন ত্বককে করে তারুণ্যযুক্ত ও উজ্জ্বল
এটা জানার মাস্টার এটা নতুন মধ্যে স্মার্ট করে দিন কাজ করতে এটা কাজ করতে পারে মানে
extra bounce there and movement. Good length, good line, and plenty of bounce on off for Tuskin. There was an excellent left. That's also the ball stopped. Just see very impressively. Very right to Vijay Kumar. This one we like to see on the fast ball, isn't it? Ball zipping through up the pitch. That's certainly a very good start by Tuskin. It was quite expensive in the only game he played up in Sharjah. After 40 he scored overs.
Dot.
Up in the air. They're not an easy one. They were sure that they would have gone closer to that ball. But he was certainly not in control. Lotus and so on. The fielder and shot it because he should have gone for it soon as he saw the ball went up in the air. He wasn't sure whether the fielder had been on that Nasu Mahmood was going for it. And this was went so high in the air. And the start was slow to pick it up. Nasu Mahmood from mid-on, he had a lot of ground to cover. And certainly he's not happy simply because of the effort by Lotus and so on at the wicket. Will be wide, right on the leg side. So when the ball is going away from you, it's not easy for the fielders because you're running backwards, but you're right because it was not quick enough. That's the reason you saw the reaction. Not happy at all. They probably wouldn't have gotten it, but the effort, his hunger to get to the ball, that was missing. Probably a good excuse it if that's a strong wicket keeper by trade. And certainly as a fast bowler you will expect from the fielder to give everything. Well, it's cracked it nicely. It's set up nicely. It's put it away for another boundary. It is a next spay boundary. We'll just set up beautiful on the balance. It's a bouncer or a good length delivery. It's a half cracker. He gave it a strike. And let this kind of a surface on a slower side will just ask him to be put away. Much better pitching it up and trying to get this one down. Try get him down the ground, drive him. Change the field, third man comes into the circle and mid-wicket drops back to the boundary. Again, further wide. It's important to see the combination. Bangladesh have gone in with 3 frontline seamers. West Indies, Maruf, have gone with 4 frontline seamers. Not a bad call here because there is something for the seamers here on the surface. We'll have to wait and see how it behaves in the later part of the innings when Bangladesh do come on to bat. Well, Mustafa Rahman will certainly be asking questions on the surface. Bangladesh cricket is craving for a solid seam boom all round. That's something we've seen Saifuddin for a certain extent feeling that worry, but in all honesty, I don't think he has grabbed the opportunity. And on the other hand, if you look at the West Indian side, they have the solid all-rounder Jason Holder, who brings it in this kind of a surface, even I believe extra seamer may be helpful, since we can see a bit of bounce and the bowlers can work around in the bounce. So certainly in the future, to all any formation, test, one day, T20, a couple of all-rounders to be found very important. I believe there are plenty of all-rounders coming through their 19 setup. But grooming them, giving them the opportunity in big stages, playing the whole league is going to be very, very important. Poor delivery by Taskin Ahmed outside your stuff, and you have two fielders in the left side for Tony boundary. The poor delivery takes another excellent stay off. He got the fielder at third in central circle, but he cannot afford to go that length. He did make a little bit of room down the leg side, so opening the offside was not that far from the fielder, but nicely struck, turning out to be a good over the West Indies. Like you mentioned, Mohammad Saifuddin, so the last T20 international that he played was against Afghanistan, the third and the last one. He picked up 3 for 15. But he doesn't find himself not in the 11th, but not even in the squad. Change of angle. Run is coming on a different angle here. Slower delivery.
What did I have? It's
Really expensive with a bit of a mixer. Bag, if you look at the over, because he did create chance. He started well. That chance, maybe a half chance, which went over the fielder at the cover, was their opportunity. It just takes one delivery for the batter to get on top of a bowler who has been bowling well. One half chance, a bit of the maze, I never seen it yet. A couple of balls, there's one group that you can run.
পাতালে বাড়ি ধরে বলা পাতালে বাড়ি ধরে বলা খারাপ এই পাতালে 10 টাকা মিলে হবে হ্যাঁ মেদলে আমরা বলে দেখতেছি তুমি নিয়ে যাবে অবস্থা নিশ্চয় রাইট এটা শোষণ খাদ্য নিশ্চিত করে আচ্ছা কারো আচ্ছা একটা বিল নাই নাকি বাসে বললে মানুষের হাতে পায়ে যায় হাতে পড়ে গেলে মানুষ দেখতে জিনিসটা আছে
Mustafi's in the attack. He's had a wonderful, wonderful time, especially in T20 internationals. He was sits right at the top. He's one of the top 3 bowlers in terms of picking the wickets in T20 international. Rashid Khan right at the top from Saudi, from New Zealand. And number 3, Bangladesh's own Mustafi's Rahman, 5th. That's the right length over there. Just the back of the length and not too wide. Swallowed up that. Just the perfect correct.
নিয়ে দিছি
In the good area straight away from the road goal.
স্টেট নাকি
He made his debut as made a day for himself. Not only in national cricket but even in franchise cricket all around the world.
দেখছিল না
Very good category. Rashid Timsawi, Sodi. His own countryman Shakib as well. Over the years have done a wonderful job to the country as well as in general in cricket. But certainly I just feel Mustafi's ball cutters into the pitch. He's just an handful bowler. Yeah, more than a handful. Maha, he's been brilliant. And there was another display of what we were talking about. Taking the pace of the ball and the subtle wrist. Really good. Interesting graphics we saw because the top 5 wicket takers out of the top 5, as you see what he did in the previous delivery. That's what we spoke about after. The trade comfortable over delivery, no matter which batter bats. Every time the batter knows what's coming, but it's still difficult to face. But they will put it away from him. Yeah, finishing off what I wanted to say in the previous delivery. Out of the top 5 wicket takers in T20 International, only 2 seamers. He's one of them. Evan Austin. With a 2 seamers and 3 spinners. It's really good to see also the seamers getting their way in terms of picking of wickets. He's been brilliant. He's been sensational for Bangladesh. They get not in control, but he still gets away with it with a couple of runs. Brandon King have been itching for a while now to get away a big shot, cut down the track. Probably Mustafi saw Brandon King coming down the track, which is slightly shorter. No problem at all. First thing about Brandon King is to strike the ball as straight as possible. There's one thing to like about Brandon King. I've spoken to some of the batters over the years. I thought he was the present batters. One thing they say about Mustafi is that he's a steely custom. He can surprise you with the surprise bouncer, and he can hit the net pretty hard and get close to 140. But it's not also সহজে প্রবৃত্তির টাকা পেতে আজই আপনার বিকাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট সন্তানের Mid-innings Toss reverse straight to the fielder. This will be opportunity to welcome Samuel Guthrie from Mid-innings and welcome to Dr. Brown. Hello Shamanoy, hello everyone. Bangladesh will be pleased so far with what they've done in the power play. There's been a lot of talking and talking from the West Indians, Brandon King and Ali Japanese. They really haven't gotten going. Just the 4 fours, no 6s hit just yet, and we're in the final over of the power play. In 2025, West Indies have struggled in this format.
প্রিয় ভিউয়ার্স, আমাদের যখন এড হবে তখন এই মোবাইলটা অন্যদিকে ঘোরানো হবে। দয়া করে সবাই কন্টিনিউ থাকবেন, আর পারলে চ্যানেলটি সাবস্ক্রাইব করে দিবেন। ধন্যবাদ।
Rolling from the far end now. There's nothing wrong with the change of end. Then we see the field change. Going for the rocket end now. Starting to see the next play end. The ball.
তাই না?
Yeah, this
তো
over,
তাতাল লাগা একটা লাইন দা
usually the toughest over, especially when a team has
তাতাল লাইন দা
lost the wicket. The last over of the power play. Set matters, set
মানে
in the
একটা
sense that they bit there for
বয়ারে
some
খাবার
time.
লাই রান
But they
করতে
usually look to capitalize on this one. Just a single though so far. So rightly pointed out, Bangladesh looking for that breakthrough. Yeah, but they wouldn't mind, notwithstanding the fact that no wickets have fallen just yet. They've restricted the West Indians well. I mentioned their record in 2025. They just won 3 out of 15 matches this year. Wonderful over. The final one off the power play, just a single. 6 done.
এটা উইকেট ফেলা না বোলিং তো কথা থাকালি না তো করে দিই
2 মিনিট হাত ধুতে হবে তাহলে জীবাণু থেকে যাবে ধুতে থাকো ধুতে হ্যাঁ বান্ডি তুই আবার স্লো নাকি রে
এখন আর উন্নত পর্ব না 10 থেকে জীবনের বিরুদ্ধে শক্তিশালী সুরক্ষা এত রাতে পার্টি হ্যাঁ এখনই ওকে মিস্টার নুডলসই হয়ে যাক
আমার পরিবারের সংখ্যায় রাবণ
100% here.
New food extract for the body. Tasty and refreshing. Nourishing total electrolytic essence boost. Bangladesh, Shantinagor.
যখন এড হবে তখনই আমাদের আপনাদের লাইভটি বন্ধ রাখা হবে
নিরাপদ ও সহজে
দয়া করে সবাই কন্টিনিউ রাখুন
পেতে আজই আপনার বিকাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট সন্তানের স্থানে রেজিস্টার করুন
নতুন কাউন্টার ব্ল্যাক শাইন ঝলমল করে আর লাস্ট শাইন ঝলমল শাইন করো ব্ল্যাক শাইন করো
Just regular Bangladesh captain in this format. So the last 2 matches in the Asia Cup and then the Afghanistan series. So let's focus a little bit on that man. A wonderful one-day international series of the record-breaking him. Picked up 12 wickets in total. And really dismantled the West Indian.
এ খুড়া দেবো খুড়া
So that previous series in 2024 when Bangladesh he picked up 6 wickets at an economy of under 6 runs and over. So he's proven to be a thorn on this side. Yeah, that's gone. That's a maximum. A rocket 6, the first of 4th innings of the Mount of Brandon King. They need some more of that. Not sure which got the speed of the bat there. Muscle. Wasn't sure the connection was perfect, but enough power on it to carry all the way. Sailed way above the speed and above. Protection on the outside. Good to see.
বড়
Even the accolades you mentioned. We should have obviously Young has that hunger. This one still giving him a slip cotton. Yeah, because he understands the importance of wickets. Get wickets. Progress. And he is one of the prime wicket takers. So we need to give him that opportunity. Still has the slip for the left-hander as well. He's running with load to bowl that googly. With the grass, you never know one can just slide on. It'll be interesting to see the Shamamoy and Jewel, the due factor later on. The word from the ground is that it's unpredictable. Played it late, played it smart. Third was inside the circle. That kind of delivery, but it's still a mixed play for. I just wonder if it hits the Q end of the bats, but it doesn't matter from a West Indian perspective. Yeah, just the bottom edge and races away to 4. That's a little bit too much of width from Rishad Hussain, so it's been an expensive start from him. Yeah, slider, just indicating that the ball is sliding on. Great changes all along the surface, something that you'd expect. I'm really curious to see that due factor. When some mentioned that a couple of days before due, a couple of days before due. So no one knows for sure. West Indies won the toss, remember, when they decided to bat first. So obviously they think that that will have a significant part to play later on. But on in the conversation with the Rangers, I think probably said there wasn't any rule last night. Slip back in place for King. Oh, that's a good sound. That's a good sound. Lot of enthusiasm from behind the stumps as well. Umpire nods his head sideways. Now they've got a decision to take. The catch here is that it was the back foot. Was the back foot. They're having a discussion. 2, 1. Time over. Time in.
কেমন হলো
দেখলে স্বাদ বাড়ে
Extract for your body. Tasty and refreshing. Nourishing total electrolytic essence of this. Bangladesh জুড়ে না কখনো বাড়ির রক্ষে করো মুখে দুর্গন্ধ প্রতিদিনের সলিউশন এক
Yeah, not a bad shouts. I think it was a good decision in the end. From the umpire, good decision not to review as well. Let's have a closer look from Okai, exactly what that ball was doing. In fact, outside. So that's the end of that. That perhaps was the discussion. The Bangladesh, they've been good in the power play this year. In fact, they've been the best among all teams with their economy. They've been quite restrictive. 7.74 is what they've won at in the power play this year in T20Is. As I mentioned, they've been better than every other team in member nations. Tonight, they've done it again. They've restricted the West Indies to just 35 in the first 6 overs. Currently, the run rate below 7. As we see another change in bowling from the far end. Something was Sakib being got back. Inside edge. They run through. But will bring up the 50 on the board for West Indies. There's a 6-run open partnership this year. 50 plus. Still not getting the pace of the pitch, even though he's been there from the start, Brandon King. So a lot of credit has to go to the Bangladesh bowlers, the way they mix things up nicely. They'll be desperate for a wicket to get a new batter in. But they wouldn't mind too much the way things have gone. Just a couple expensive overs. That's hit sweet. Goes all the way. And the crowd here is silent. It is a rocket six. He just helped that one. Alik Abinez using the pace that fans him. Just getting inside the line and swiveling nicely. A lot of flair in that particular slowly. Had 8 of 11 deliveries, Alik Abinez just picking up, just accelerating as he needs to. Mentioned rightly, but that Bangladesh has done well in restricting their oppositions in the power play. But if you can't manage to get a wicket here, it's the death overs rate that will be taking a pounding, taking a toll on it, which is 9.25 as of 2025. Well, that's the currency that the fielding team have a look at where they've been targeted the Bangladesh bowlers. Not giving too much width. And also the variations in pace, slower delivery to end the over.
2, 3, 4. Uncanny Revive Moisturizing Lotion. Simple. 1, 2, 3, 4.
দিশে ল্যাংটা দেখতে বাইরে
বাইরে যাবে না, জাস্ট 1, 2, 3, 4 করো, স্কিনটাকে রিভাইভ করো।
বাড়ির বাইরে করো মুখের দুর্গন্ধ প্রতিদিনের সলিউশন একটাই ডাবল রেড
A product of Remark. আমার কাছে কি ভাই দরকারের সময় নেট নাই রবি ওয়াইফাই এখন নেট অন সারাক্ষণ which is the world class cable fan auto cables নিরাপদ সঞ্চয় পাইছেন সরকারি ভাতা আপনাদের ভরসা পাই বিকাশ সরকারি ভাতা নিশ্চিন্তে ও প্রতিবার সময় মতো পেতে আপনার বিকাশ নাম্বারটি সমাজ সেবা অফিসে নিবন্ধন করুন Contender one down to Nasser Mohammed. Yeah, I really like this from Litandar with that sleeping position because he knows that Rishad is a wicket taker and he's desperate for a wicket. The wicket looks short but not getting the middle of the bat, so he's two-handed quite a few. Brandon King who hails from Jamaica just about 8 p.m. cruising in on 8 p.m. Jamaican time prayers and thoughts for the people of Jamaica who are bracing for the impact of Hurricane Melissa. Found him. It is rocking out. Here's the wicket Bangladesh were looking for. Richard gets the breakthrough. Listen to the noise. Such a wonderful performer. He's just continuing on from his ODI form. They're working in from the pad onto the gloves and then onto the stumps. The earth is played with some level of productivity in the past, but this time it brings about his downfall. An important strike for Bangladesh after his সাবান থেকে আলাদা আঠার সাবান আর ডাভ নিন একদিকে সাবান দিন আর অন্যদিকে ডাভ সাবানের দিকটা রুক্ষ লাগে আর ডাভের দিকটা নরম ও কোমল কারণ ডাভ সাবানের থেকে আলাদা এর 1/4 ময়েশ্চারাইজিং ক্রিম দেয় নরম কোমল ও উজ্জ্বল ত্বক তফাৎটা বুঝতে আজই ডাভ ব্যবহার করুন সিলিন্ডার পাঠিয়ে দিন এটা আইগেজ ইউনাইটেড ফ্যাক্টরি থেকে সব চেক করে সেল দিয়ে দেয় 65 বছরের অভিজ্ঞতা নিয়ে 300 থেকে বাংলাদেশে আইগেজ ইউনাইটেড পিওর কোয়ালিটির গ্যাস দেয় নীল রঙের আগুন তাই রান্না হয় দ্রুত পাত্র কালো হয় না আর আপনি থাকুন নিশ্চিন্তে রাঁধুনি বিরিয়ানি মশলায় তৈরি বিরিয়ানির এমনি সাজছে জটিল করে বিরিয়ানি ছাড়া আর কিছু মাথায় আসবে না রাঁধুনি বিরিয়ানি মশলা রেইনবো ওয়েদার কেয়ারে আল্ট্রাভায়োলেট প্রোটেকশন থাকায় রোদ বৃষ্টি ও তাপে দেয়ালের রং মনে হয় না রেইনবো পেইন্টস দ্য কালার অফ জয় New food extract থেকে তৈরি tasty ও refreshing নিরামিষের নতুন electrolytic accessories বাংলাদেশ সুন্দর কখনো 100% pure goat milk extracted made with juice sparkling. Light effort. You yourself, Babri, being the master of this art, how do you admire him and how would you? Yeah, what he's done well in his career is that he's targeted the stumps. Generally, he goes a wicket-to-wicket line. Not a big turn on the ball, but immaculate control. So if you do want to score for him, many times you're taking a risk off the stumps. When he's tall, high release point, sometimes he gets bounce. Doesn't like to see him utilize his boogies a little bit more. Shehu has been the leading run scorer for West Indies in this format this season in 2025. As captain though, the results haven't gone his way. He's just won 2 T20s in his captaincy career in this format. So it's something that he'll want to address. Not only him, the entire team. I mentioned before that they've struggled in this format in the recent past. An opportunity here in these conditions with the World Cup next year. They're just around the corner to be held in Sri Lanka and India. So you want to get used to conditions like these. You want to put in some good performances. And they've struggled generally when there's some turn on offer. Very well bowled over. Very shot is varied the pace all throughout the
এভাবে সেরা হবার 100 রকম চেষ্টা থেকে লাগে 100 কঠিন দাগ আর এমনই 100 কঠিন দাগের জন্য আছে নতুন সার্ফ এক্সেল এর কার্বো প্রিন্ট টেকনোলজি কাপড়ের গভীরে গিয়ে 100 কঠিন দাগ দূর করে এক ধোয়াতে নতুন সার্ফ এক্সেল
সাথে থাকলে স্বাদ বাড়ে কোকা-কোলা
100% pure gold milk extracted pure deep fresh spot whitening cleanser deeper layering gentle cleansing that complete you আর anti-aging সুরক্ষা আমার পরিবারের সুরক্ষা যেমন
100% পিওর সর্বাধুনিক সিপিভিসি ম্যাটেরিয়াল দিয়ে তৈরি RFL সিপিভিসি প্রো পাইপ এন্ড ফিটিংস 99 got back the far end and they can pace off first up. Yeah, with the two right-handers, he might feel a little bit more comfortable. Not that he needs to. His into his third over, one of which was in the power play, and he's only conceded 4. So it's been exceptional stuff from him. Yeah, that's chip in the air, just over the fielder. Well intentional from Shehut that he survives. Maybe just stopping on the pitch through the shot too early. A sign of things to come perhaps. Yeah, look at this. Whipping a bit, bouncing with extra. Seeing some green tint all over the surface, but it's not constant, it's not even. Then it's quite dry and very mosaic. So beneath that green tinge, if you see the explosion of the surface here, it's because of how dry it is. We are just there. It's very, very dry. So expect it to be slow and expect it to turn even with that green tinge. That delivery I was mentioning, present thoughts with the people back in Jamaica and that imminent threat of Hurricane Melissa. Hopefully we don't get a direct hit and things work out. That is the call. With launching of the runway, as Shehub, it is a maximum. It's a rocket 6. They're in the slot. Not using the surface too full on that occasion, allowing Shehut to get on there. There was an explosion again, but because of the length, he's able to connect and connect nicely. Third 6 of the innings. Oh, quicker delivery, keeping low as well. Somehow dealt with it.
জানো ডেথ স্কিনসেল আমাদের ব্রাইট স্কিনকে লুকিয়ে রাখে টেস্ট টেস্ট করলে দেখতে পাবে দেখলে ব্রাইট স্কিন লুকিয়ে আছে ডেথ স্কিন সেলসের নিচে এগুলো দূর করে পন্ড স্কিন ইনস্টিটিউটের ব্রাইট বিউটি ফেস ওয়াশ এই নাইসিনামাইড যুক্ত এক্সপার্ট ফর্মুলা ডেথ স্কিন সেলস দূর করে আর দেয় আল্টিমেট ব্রাইট স্কিন মিরাকলস হ্যাপেন পন্ডস ব্রাইট বিউটি ফেস ওয়াশ
সর্বাধুনিক সিপিভিসি ম্যাটেরিয়াল দিয়ে তৈরি RFL সিপিভিসি প্রো পাইপ এন্ড ফিটিংস 90 ডিগ্রি সেলসিয়াস পর্যন্ত গরম পানি সহ্য করতে পারে RFL সিপিভিসি প্রো পাইপ এন্ড ফিটিংস
ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং রেডি আগে হিরোইন তো সেজে নে আহা ঠান্ডা ঠান্ডা হাওয়াতে গর্বতায় যেমন চাই এটারও এমন সফট স্কিন কি করে নতুন ভ্যাসলিন ডিপ রিস্টোর সিরাম লোশন যা উইন্টার ত্বক রাখে নরম এবং কোমল
নিরাপদ ও সহজে উপবৃত্তির টাকা পেতে আজই আপনার বিকাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট সন্তানের স্কুলে রেজিস্টার করুন। কি ভাই, দরকারের সময় নেট নাই? আপনার চাই রবি ওয়াইফাই, ব্যাটারি ব্যাকআপ সহ এখন নেট অন সারাক্ষণ।
প্রতিদিনের রোদে মুখে পড়া স্পট আর ত্বক হয়ে যায় মলিন। রোদ থেকে আমরা বাঁচি এভাবে, কিন্তু আসলে বাঁচা উচিত এভাবে। নতুন গ্লো অ্যান্ড লাভলি ব্রাইটেনিং সানস্ক্রিন, মাত্র 2 আঙ্গুলে রোদকে ব্লক করো। SPF 50 রোদ থেকে দেয় 99% পর্যন্ত প্রোটেকশন, আর ভিটামিন সি সিরাম ত্বকে করে ভেতর থেকে ব্রাইট। রোদ ব্লক করো, প্রতিদিন গ্লো করো। নতুন গ্লো অ্যান্ড লাভলি ব্রাইট ইউভি গ্লো সানস্ক্রিন।
New food extract থেকে তৈরি, tasty ও বাংলাদেশের প্রথম ইলেকট্রোলাইট্রিক এসেন্স প্লাস। বাংলাদেশ শুনবে না কখনো। পেপসোডেন্ট চার্মি চেক।
চকলেট না বলো না, আজ মার সাথে অনেক কিছু কিছু হয়েছে। চকলেটটা একটা মিস হবে। কিছু তুমি পেপসোডেন্ট দিয়ে ব্রাশ করো না।
পেপসোডেন্ট চার্মি চেক 12 ঘন্টা জীবাণুদের সাথে লড়াই করে দিবে ব্যাকটেরিয়া থেকে সর্বাধিক সুরক্ষা।
সবসময় চকলেট মা সব দাম কিছু তো পেপসোডেন্ট করবে, তাই না?
সাথে থাকলে স্বাদ বাড়ে।
ব্রাউন সসের মাখামাখি টেস্ট নুডলসকে করে তোলে আরো ইয়ামি, আরো জোস। তাজা পাকা টমেটো আর সিক্রেট রেসিপি কম্বিনেশনে ব্রাউন সসের বস।
Which is the world-class cable brand. Water cables, নিরাপদ আগামী সঞ্চয়।
কালার এক্সপার্ট জর্জ সেট এবং মাইল্ড অন হ্যান্ডস টেকনোলজি সমৃদ্ধ অরিক্স ক্রিস্টাল ওয়াশ আপনার লন্ড্রি এক্সপার্ট।
আপনার লেজের সাথে মানানসই স্টাইলিশ সব ডিজাইন দিয়ে বেছে নিন জংমুক্ত ও লং লাস্টিং শাইন বেসিন ট্যাব। ফিটিংস শাইন সবকিছু ফাইন। জল সমৃদ্ধ লিলি বডি লোশন ত্বককে করে তাড়িয়ে দীপ্তি ও উজ্জ্বল। Akash brings Raleigh to Bangladesh, the ultimate experience of live matches, special shows, and
The second half. Short. And he hammers it away. Well, that's a gift offered, and he's not going to miss out on that. Starts off after the break with a rocket 6.
certainly that was a rocket. Making some damages to our increasing boots. Set up beautifully. Brandon King, when he hits it, it stays it. Nice and flat on a 79-meter hit.
Well, Rishad Hussain is going at 10.62. Normally very noisily with his figures in addition to getting wickets. Today he's been a tad expensive. And has to reach that. He backs away a little too early and the ball grips and turns away from him.
Quicker through the air by Rishad, 93 kilometers per hour. Certainly not comfortable to try in any air to Brandon King, who's looking for something full to go down the ground. Certainly you'll probably see in this over, Rishad pushing it through quicker.
Oh, that really enticed him. He's really bowling just a touch outside the line of bulk, and withstanding his ground, he's never going to reach that turning ball.
A big change in the pace, 81.2 and a massive turn up. Right intention by Brandon King trying to go down the track as the turn and down Brandon King that occasion.
And he gets hold of that, not maybe timed to a nicety, and in the process does manage to get one run. But this is where Maha, I feel that the googly would come in so useful. He could set up the batters with the orthodox leggies, just been missing that special element in the repertoire of leg spinner. Not enough googlies. He's got 100 wickets in his T20 career. Would like to add to that.
And also looking at the batting order of West Indies, adding up to number 9, even Akil Hussain, was in super form. And now, one of these players, ideally Brandon King, got to press on the accelerator. Shea Hope will play the ball and it's very probably try and bat most of the innings. But Brandon King have spent enough time, 29 deliveries out there in the middle. He needs to get going now. Oh, once again, just giving that ball some air. This time around, finds the fielder and just restrict that to 1 run. 9 from that over, 79 for 1.
New food extractivity. Tasty and refreshing. Nourishing food of electrolytic essence. Bangladesh, HAFIZ brings Ramadan to Bangladesh, the ultimate experience of live matches, special shows and highlights exclusively on Akash Digital TV and Akash Go app.
নিরাপদ ও সহজে উপবৃত্তির টাকা পেতে আজই আপনার বিকাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট সন্তানের
আমার কাছে কি ভাই দরকারের সময় নেট নাই আপনার চাই রবি ওয়াইফাই নেট অন শার্ট কোড
He does that so very well. And half out of the field by the skipper. The total deliveries in 11.1 overs on a good batting surface is on the higher side. Probably at the end of the game, West Indies having a discussion. A chat about it. His turn and bounce. The first that his balls in MLMP balls is not easy for a batter. Only 5 bowlers used so far, 5 specialist bowlers. Asif got 1 more over, Rishad got 1, and the rest of it will be done by the 3 seamers.
And when the solar plexus just trying to swivel around, not timing the ball coming off. Those the wonderful cutters which slows down the speed.
Surprise you played this occasion, 134.6. And clearly Brandon King late to that stroke. Probably anticipating another slower delivery, and this is why the pitch is so good. Batsman cannot target him down, he's so unpredictable. One slow delivery at 120.2 and the next 134.6. Using all his experience here, Pace.
He just guides the ball, he tries to guide it past that short, square short third fielder. Now 1 point, it's just about to make this not the very first time that they've played each other 19 times. Bangladesh and the West Indies, the very first time they're playing in this ground at Chattogram. So you're talking about those singles. I think there's a period where they had a good look at the nature of the wicket before they started the opening up.
The problem is now, Brandon King in this over, 3 dot deliveries for a batter who has done right flow innings. Not there to be scored, just hit a single. That's important too, is the call. Which will be by Kelly Ball, maybe they're just resulting in a single. But you try and minimize the dot delivery percentage. That's what you want to do. That's where I find Brandon King not picking up the variations of Mustafiz and certainly struggling for timing.
Absolutely. It's kept him guessing. We've had 120, 134, 119. The speeds of Mustafizur Rahman varies. It's not only the speed, it's the angle and the change of the lengths that he subtly uses to really put the seed of doubt in the batter's mind. Once again, it just allows the ball to come back on. Single is only one. That to be the muster.
The ball to his field. 5 fielders in the offside, 2 behind square, saving the boundary. Certainly the line has to be just outside the off stump. But that's what Shea Hope, that the Brandon King, the field changes. Second field at deep cow point comes into short cow point and the mid-on drops back long on. So the line probably will be much more straighter for Brandon King. Certainly, I think this is where HAFIZ and Mithun Kumar does, using all the experience for different batters, different fields, and the different lines of attack as well. Excellent so far by Mustafiz.
Very noticeable. The 30-yard circle fielders are on the circle. Now, a push just past the ending. And the boundary riders, you saw him coming in with Brandon King. They're all on the boundary.
Double red toothpaste. 72 ঘন্টা ময়েশ্চার রক সমৃদ্ধ দুই বছর শিয়া বাজারের গুডনেস স্কিন রিপেয়ার করে রাখে সফট ও গ্লোয়িং। এখন আছে ফ্রেশ টেকনোলজি যা জীবাণুর সাথে লড়াই করে দেয় সতেজ নিঃশ্বাস 18 ঘন্টা পর্যন্ত। তোমার টিকিট আর এটা তোমার ক্লোজ আপ 18 ঘন্টা সতেজ নিঃশ্বাস। বাংলাদেশের প্রথম ইলেকট্রোমেট্রিক এসেন্সিবল।
There he goes. Silver's round. The people thank you very much. Saqib. That was on the spot. I thought he was going to break the shackles. In the process, Ruskin Ahmed has earned himself a wicket.
The trial event and fixed concentration comes to an end. 23 of 36 deliveries going nowhere. Oh, the slower delivery start by Ruskin only 188 kilometers per hour. And his fast bowling partner, Anzim Hassan Shakib, takes a good catch and deep scoring. And the goal for 23 was City's 82 for 2.
প্রতিবার সময় মতো পেতে আপনার বিকাশ নাম্বারটি সমাজ সেবা অফিসে নিবন্ধন করুন। পুষ্টিকর কিশোর নুডলস অ্যাপার্ট নুডলস যা পরিবারের সুষম খাদ্য নিশ্চিত করে। কিশোর নুডলস লভস ম্যাজিক।
Eager to go and try and get that hat trick if you can. Slip in position. There we go. Eased away and gets his first goal. A good feed forward by Aaron Puggle. Certainly a wealth of experience. Playing in some of the Premier Leagues. That's the most impressive part. When he hits it, it stays with a powerful flare down the ground. Not much players even around the world facing 100 T20 national matches for him for over the years. Have been a wonderful servant to West Indies cricket. As Woodward again goes over, Stubborn again, that's a very contact match. As you see the next ball, he allows that to come down. He's got a really great because the thing is with Robert Hall coming in so quickly, 2 wickets, I think the pressure back on the West Indies. Hypothetically also for the thinking spinners in straight away. Roman Powell against pace, he likes pace, but against spinners, he struggles a bit. Certainly, Kumar Das have done the homework, will probably do that. Good length delivery, back of the length, that's been the trademark of Taskin Ahmed's career. Just the back of the length. Hands are run by a good chance here. Anyone hard with a sticky plays with a 13th over. That's something you don't see much. Kumar Das, he knows the game. Another slow ball didn't quite connect it at all. It's up in the air and sailing away. That is an extreme. Welcome back, Richard. So it's Shehu with rocket 6. Take a look at this at the end. It's almost like a no look. Right, driving the thing up. Straight as a whistle for a 96-meter monster. And this is right. Will be tested. If you're in control of things, sometimes you have it your own way, but if the batters upset your rhythm like that, with majestic shots like that, what about that? That was one of the hottest sixes, rocket sixes I've seen for a while. And pick the bolt out of that, didn't he? Middle of the bat, just slops him against the turn. Which is why players that share home, you cannot keep him quiet for a longer period. Was a 96-meter hit, and the right next delivery, a 84-meter hit.
Straight away, Rishad Hussain in his last over under pressure.
Yes, under pressure indeed, and that's where his temperament will be tested. As I said, when the batters go after you, how do you come back? Everything's playing on his mind. Moves that well, just touch short of length and turning away. A dot ball, the precious one.
A good comeback by Rishad, slowing it down and putting the leg back most important. The first one, radiating up, straight to the side screen. A similar left,
সুইং খাওয়ার আগে ভাই ভাই দিছে
front of square.
সর্বপ্রথম
Good hit.
Just managed to turn the ball away. Return Dasha a little annoyed with his speed and not really going after that ball, and that's good to see, trying to keep everyone alert.
On the other hand, I think Rishad Hussain quietly will be happy that he has to go towards cover. At least another couple of deliveries and trying to get his wicket. Rightly so, Nitin Kumar Das knows that Rohan Powell is a shaky start against spin and slip in place in the 14th over.
He will be much more circumspect in his approach. Dan Cahill has been there for a while and looking at the ball and assessing the nature of the wicket very well. Rohan Powell, this is the little advantage that Rishad has got to take. Oh no, leading edge. Oh, very lucky. First drop shot of the two fielders, gets a single. 14 runs.
100% pure footwear looks like this. We are duty. For white audio আর anti-aging সুরক্ষা।
নিরাপদ ও সহজে উপবৃত্তির টাকা পেতে আজই আপনার বিকাশ অ্যাকাউন্ট সন্তানের স্থানে রেজিস্টার করুন।
ভিটামিন সি আর গ্লিসারিনের সাথে নতুন লাক্স যা ত্বককে করে নরম আর দেয় ব্রাইট গ্লো। ট্রাই করুন হাফিজ।
All of it once again, just a single.
As expected from Nitin Kumar Das, soon as Powell comes into the crease, bringing the two spinners. Rishad Hussain bowled out in the last over, but expensive. He scored 40 for 1, and Masood Ahmed played really well with the new ball. High no deliveries. Probably happy just to give a signal to Shea Hope and try and bowl much more deliveries towards. That's why you see the 30-yard circle, the field and all that, just hugging the 30-yard circle, happy to give the signal to Shea Hope and try and get power to the strikers end.
I was going to remind of Shea Hope, prepared to take him on. He is, and in the process he gets the ball just that short of the length. He does not really allow him to free his arms.
It's all about the length, Shamim. Just the ideal length for a spinner skidding on. So good, Nasu. Hitting the length, and this will confirm us hitting the stumps 50% and just bowling wicket to wicket. Subtle variation in pace, but most of the deliveries, they are or thereabout. And that's the slowest delivery, 81.2. And don't be surprised the right next delivery will be much more quicker, straighter. He's skidding on for that. And these kind of surfers, you just want to bowl wicket to wicket on a good length, and the rest will take care of itself.
And he just manages to just put it a little further, knows that Rohan Powell is still not in his elements. As the 3 runs from his 8 deliveries, he'll be itching to go. But still he can take advantage of that once again, quickly through the air. Excellent, tight, accurate bowling.
A few comes to my mind who goes wicket to wicket quickly. So Imad Wasim won, and our own co-comment. We used to do the same job, especially in the powerplay, wicket to wicket, quicker through the air. And that's the same job Nasu Muhammad did as well. Excellent spell comes to them, 4 overs, 50 for no loss.
HAFIZ TEACH, niacinamide ও salicylic chemical daily face wash, যা face এর dead skin cell দূর করে দেয় দ্বিগুণ faster brightening daily face wash.
ভাই সিলিন্ডার পাঠিয়ে দিয়ে
কোয়ালিটি চেক
এটা আইগেজ ইউনাইটেড ফ্যাক্টরি থেকে সব চেক করে সিল দিয়ে রাখি ৬৫ বছরের অভিজ্ঞতা নিয়ে পুরো সততা বাংলাদেশে আইগেজ ইউনাইটেড প্রিয় কোয়ালিটির গ্যাস দেয় নীল রঙের আগুন তাই রান্না হয় দ্রুত পাত্র কালো হয় না আর আপনি থাকুন নিশ্চিন্তে রাজধানী বিরিয়ানি মশলায় তৈরি বিরিয়ানি এমনই সাজছে ছোট করে বিরিয়ানি ছাড়া আর কিছু মাথায় আসবে না রাজধানী বিরিয়ানি New Super Cashback Offer. 1499 টাকা রিচার্জে 501 টাকা ক্যাশব্যাক। তো আকাশে যাবে টিভি দেখার মানে।
আমার কাছে
কি ভাই দরকারের সময় নেট নাই আপনার চাই রবি ওয়াইফাই এখন নেট অন সারাক্ষণ
আমার পরিবারের সবাই যেমন
100% ইউজ
শিয়া বাটার ও অ্যালোজয়েল সমৃদ্ধ নীল বডি লোশন ত্বককে করে তারুণ্যদীপ্ত ও উজ্জ্বল।
এত রাতে পার্টি হ্যাঁ এখনই ওকে মিস্টার রুচি হয়ে যাক
T20 internationals for West Indies. Good delivery, slower delivery, just getting the fingers over. But they still managed to steal a single. Good evening, Samuel Badri. Hello, Arthur. Hello, everyone. Yeah, you're right. Only that position behind Nicholas Puran and Karen Pollard. They play 100 T20Is for the West Indies. Is also the second highest run getter for them in this format. And only recently, as we look at that opportunity, there was given a national award back in Jamaica, his home country. The order of distinction for his services in the sphere of cricket. So it's been a wonderful recognition for a man who has represented his nation and indeed that of the West Indies with pride and distinction. And long may that continue. And he's timing it really nicely, the skipper, Shay Hope. He's missed out in the last few innings, but he did manage to pick up 100 against Australians in West Indies when he smashed 102 not out. So we know what kind of damage he can do with the bat. And he's got the kind of start that he is hoping for. They just need both these batters to continue to bat in the next 4 or 5 overs. After this over, only 4 more overs available. Just not timing it rough and power, only a single. Yeah, 6 from 12, so he hasn't got going just yet. And he needs to accelerate quite quickly. Just as you mentioned, 4 overs remaining after this one. And look at the projected scores there. Can they get up to 150, 160? Which could be competitive on the surface. Again, we'll find out exactly how much game time later on. Just probably going down the leg side. Not a bad idea to go in the front hole from Tanzim Hassan Shakib. We're not considering the review. I don't think just the 5 bowlers used by Bangladesh. Nasuma has been brilliant. Those balls are number 15. Have a closer look here. Yeah, comfortably going down the leg. She disappointed as he missed off, but not a bad option. Just there when they take the pace of the ball, it gets difficult for the batters to put it away. Again, on a slower side, which is a clever piece of bowling from Tanzim Hassan Shakib. But it's something that the batting team, the West Indians, I'm sure will be looking at, the coaching staff, the analysts, as to what is or what has been successful on the surface. So the likes of Jada Seals and Omari Shepherd, that on screen there behind Darren Sammy, will be looking at Jason Wilson as well. Wonderful innovation. Shea Hope has been working on that from the Nexus.
সকল
step for your booty. Tasty, refreshing, Bangladesh bottled electrolyte essence.
It's dropped in. Unlucky for Mustafizur. Straight in and straight out. That's him unable to hold on. Just had to launch forward. They're unlucky, unfortunate for Bangladesh. That's an important wicket. Rough and ball can be quite explosive in these final overs.
He nearly picked up a wicket in the very first delivery of this over. We spoke about how well he has bowled so far. He's gone 3.5 runs in an over. This is only his third over. I'm trying to not to be frustrated because he can do the damage. He hasn't really fired up with the bat, has he, Robin Powell? 7 of 15, and he's lucky. Partnership at 29 of 24. But it looks like Hope has got the things in control. He's getting to terms with the conditions and also the pace of the surface. 31 of 19 at strike rate of 163. The fielder at long on comes in inside the circle and a deep cover point. Look back at the boundary ropes. In the edge of the circle, so the easy single available. There's mix things up quite nicely in this over so far, Mr. Fizzle. 134, followed by 119, followed by 129. So fast, slow, fast. Mr. Powell might just be setting himself up for that slower delivery that still hasn't come to terms with the surface. Not yet anyway. 7 from 15 with an opportunity in that as well. A drop catch. Well, he's certainly eyeing to launch himself, but somehow he's missing the ball. Again, trying for the big one down the ground. Yes, so there is a pattern so far in the over. Faster ball followed by the slower ball. It's such a wonderful exponent of that delivery. The way he contorts his hand to get those revs on the ball. Special. Has been a special player for some time for Bangladesh. And he knows exactly what to do in any situation. That's one of the reasons why Bangladesh have been doing well in the recent past, especially in this format of the game. They've done 4 series on the spot. We just cast our minds back to December last year after you were there in St. Vincent in that 3-match series that West Indies lost all 3. The West Indies were bundled out on all 3 occasions for 140 in 19.5, 102 in 18.3, and 109 in 16.4. So it's a team that has gotten all 10 wickets on a number of occasions against this opposition. 17, 1, 114.
জানো ডেথ স্কিন আমাদের ব্রাইট স্কিনকে লুকিয়ে রাখে টেস্ট করলে দেখতে পাবে দেখলে ব্রাইট স্কিন লুকিয়ে আছে ডেথ স্কিন সেলসের নিচে এগুলো দূর করে ব্রন স্কিন ইনস্টিটিউটের ব্রাইট বিউটি ফেস ওয়াশ এই নাইসিনামাইড যুক্ত এক্সপার্ট ফর্মুলা ডেথ স্কিন সেলস দূর করে আর দেয় আলটিমেট ব্রাইট স্কিন মিরাকলস হ্যাপেন ব্রনস ব্রাইট বিউটি ফেস ওয়াশ
Afrika Pakistan area আছে
সাথে থাকলে স্বাদ বাড়ে কোকা-কোলা।
New food extract for your booty. Tasty, refreshing, Bangladesh bottled electrolyte essence of beef. Bangladesh হিন্দু বাড়ির রক্তে করুন মুখের দুর্গন্ধ প্রতিদিন সলিউশন ডাবল রেড টুথপেস্ট সবজি খেয়ে মনে পাঁচতালি
Initially,
But this time it connects well. He's done it beautifully. Another very good looking shot. Was a 6. It is a rocket 6.
Yeah, he's dealing in 6s, 4 of them, as compared to just the 1-4 for Shea Hope. And again, it's the direction in which he's targeting. He's looking to go straight. Yeah, he knows that he's missed the length, but Hope does miss out. A good start to the over. Can they make this a big one? 15 plus. That's what they will be thinking. There was going 6 on the first delivery. Just pulling the length back. But only a single, so 7 in the first 2 deliveries. HAFIZ has been absolutely brilliant with the cutters. Really struggled when he tried to go slower, taking the pace of the ball and then such risk, turning it over. He's been very good, showing the right kind of skills that he's been very, very famous for. Every time when the batter has eye to take him on, he disguised the ball in a really clever way. Again, the actual batter occasion is a little bit more fuller, so not allowing the batters to fade their arm. He's come back good after being hit for the 6. 9 of 18 deliveries for Rothman Powell. Looking to unfurl and unleash, but not given the opportunity. So again, credit to the Bangladesh bowlers for the job that they've done. Shiwup, on the other hand, his strike rate is 174. So diametrically opposed to what Rothman Powell has been able to do. This is the class of the man. Again, the area down the ground, but this time will only be a single. Speaking about how well Shai Hope has coped up with the conditions, the last time Rothman Powell made an impression with the bat was against England at Southampton this year, when he smashed his way to score 79, an unbeaten 79 of just 45 deliveries with a striker of 175. But he hasn't been in good nick since then. It's tonight. He's not timing it. He's not timing it at all. Thinking about coming back for the second. Oh, a little bit of a stopping it in the deep. Yeah, it is 100 T20. I remember Rothman Powell putting West Indian to that milestone. He's trying desperately. Yeah, a little bit of a misfield. Allow them to come back for the 2 quite comfortably. Shaman Hussain, the fielder. As a batter, when you're struggling to time it, I think it's also important that he doesn't take too many deliveries from here on. Get Hope on strike. Or do this. Couple of bounces to the fence. It is a Texas space. He's going to pull the place, you know, if he didn't get the thing on it.
নায়িকাকে বাঁচাবো আমি, তোমার গাড়ি বাঁচাবে ইন্স্যুরেন্স। প্রত্যেকে করবো সেখানে ইন্স্যুরেন্স করলে সিটিতে সুরক্ষা পাবেন নিশ্চিতে। সবজি খেয়ে মনে পাঠালি কি মিশালি? কিন্তু এই তেল চর্বি একবার ধুলে পরিষ্কার হবে না, তাহলে একবার আমি ধুয়ে দিচ্ছি আর একবার তুমি।
নতুন ভিম লিকুইড আছে 100% যা মাছ মাংসের কঠিন তেল চর্বি পরিষ্কার করে এক ছোঁয়াতে।
এবার তুমি।
আরে তেল চিটচিটে ভাব গায়ে। সাধারণ ডিটারজেন্ট, তাই কাপড়কে বাঁচাতে ব্যবহার করুন কালার এক্সপার্ট জর্জ স্যাপ এবং ওয়াইল্ড ওয়ান হেলথ টেকনোলজি সমৃদ্ধ অরিক্স ক্রিস্টাল ওয়াশ। আপনার ব্রাউজ এক্সপার্ট নতুন সাউথের ব্ল্যাক শাইন ভিটামিন সি ও ই গুণে কিনে দেয় ঝলমলে কোটিং আর গ্লাস শাইন। ঝলমলে শাইন করো।
It's in the gap. Well fielded. Not too much. Just really well because it was struck nicely.
but generally they've been good in the field. Ganesh, I know there was a drop catch and a couple of misfields, but there have been some efforts like that. If we cast our minds back to the power play in the inner circle, they were exceptional. Everyone important. 15 in the last over. The cocky son of man's take on HAFIZ Rahman. It's not been easy. Single brings it to 50 partnership. In that partnership, Shirup has scored 33 from 16 from Powell. Struggling a bit before the last ball of the previous over has just propelled him to 15 from 20. He was 11 of 19. The only way he can make up now is to score a few boundaries to get that strike rate over 100. The change in field for him, there is the long on and a straight deep wicket. Well, has he found the gap? No, straight to the fielder for another single. The crowd has been very good. They've come in big numbers here for tonight's the first T20 International number 3 matches to play. And all at the same when you look at that crowd. They're amazing. They were in droves outside when we were coming in, trying to get into the stadium. They're in now. Look at that, wonderful to see. A very good from HAFIZ Rahman. They always give you that cushion when you see an expensive over from the other end. He doesn't hide away from the fact that yes, his job to ensure that he comes back and settle things. Pace of 78 strike rate, pace of 121. Yes, and the West Indians will take note of that when it's their turn to bowl. Can he finish off the over? Last 2 overs, he's been exceptional all the way through. There's clamping him for room. I don't think he's got enough on the back. Let's see. Yep. Sanjeev Hasan comes back and heaps to a leg to cut it off. To 2. Check. So find this over. Maybe just surprising or Powell again looking for the slow ball. A little bit of teamwork there. Almost went awry, but looked up well in the end. The last over, last delivery out of his spell, none for 17. Can he finish off with a wicket or something economical? Oh, it's been called away. So you have to rebuild that. There's still very good figures here. Only with that extra run, only 18 in 3.5 overs. Yes, not among the wickets, but that kind of an economical spell spells trouble for the opposition. There is what we call in this game a banker, someone you can rely on no matter the situation and no matter the phase of the game, power play, middle or death overs. Well, it was in the slot and he said, thank you very much. Just punched over. But what a 6, what a shot. And that time coming.
প্রতিদিন আর রোদে মুখে পড়ে স্পট
থেকে আমরা বাঁচি এভাবে, কিন্তু আসলে বাঁচা উচিত এভাবে। নতুন গ্লো অ্যান্ড লাভলি ব্রাইটনিং সানস্ক্রিন মাত্র 2 আঙ্গুলে রোদকে ব্লক করো। SPF 50 রোদ থেকে দেয় 99% পর্যন্ত প্রোটেকশন আর ভিটামিন সি সিরাম ত্বকে করে ভেতর থেকে ব্রাইট। রোদ ব্লক করো, প্রতিদিন গ্লো করো। নতুন গ্লো অ্যান্ড লাভলি ব্রাইটনিং ভিডিও সানস্ক্রিন। নতুন সানসের ব্যাক শাইন ভিটামিন সি ও ই গুণে চুলে দেয় 6 কোটি আর গ্লাস শাইন। ঝাড়খণ্ডে শাইন করো, গ্লাস শাইন করো।
পাইছি সরকারি ভাতা, আপনার চিন্তা কিসে? ভরসা পাই বিকাশে। সরকারি ভাতা নিশ্চিন্তে ও প্রতিবার সময় মতো পেতে আপনার বিকাশ নাম্বারটি সমাজসেবা অফিসে নিবন্ধন করুন।
side. They just have to make sure they get as many as they can. They've got some big overs in this innings. The last couple of overs have really propelled the score. They want to finish here. If they can get to 160, 16 runs from this over, gets them there. It's a really good partnership. There's 63 of 53 deliveries. 1 4 and 4 sixes for Shaheen, and a 4 and a 6 from the bat of Ruffman Powell. He's only just gotten over that 100 strike rate, Ruffman Powell. That one is clobbered. Another rocket 6 before the man who's playing his 100 T20I latches onto that one and brings up the 150 for West Indies. They're really lighting it up in the middle in the last few overs. Didn't bother to run. Why would you want to run? 92 meters. The last one that he hit went more than 100 meters. Big four. Off the front foot, really big stride in and targeting down the ground. Beautiful, the last one. Gorgeous looking shot. Again. Oh yes, he's enjoying it. 6-4, caught in the lead. Another rocket 6. Consecutive sixes for Ruffman Powell. He's finally found his mojo in the final over of the innings. This is a brilliant battle. 14 runs from the first 3 overs. Again. Has he got enough legs there? Yes, it has. 6 more, another rocket 6. What a show he's putting on tonight for his team. He spoke about his strike rate. He spoke about his struggles. With that 6, he's now moved to 42 of just 26 deliveries. Incredible. Yeah, that strike rate has increased exponentially. It's now 161 for much of his innings. He was under 50 folks. What an acceleration. A hat-trick of 6s. 11 innings now. Everyone in Bannister, in Royal Harbors and Catherine, Jamaica will be looking on his mom, his sisters, his family. Something for them to smile about at least. 4 6s and 4 balls. Can he make it 5 and 5? Overboard.
Line 6 was on it.
They're bracing for Hurricane Melissa, people in Jamaica. But this year, it's Hurricane Ruffman with Chapter Ground. This over, he did his brutal best. Even when he didn't connect, still had legs to go over the boundary. Final delivery of the innings. He nails that one. But there is protection in the deep, comes back for 2. A wonderful end for the West Indies. They won't take that one because he sort of blocked the wicket keeper. So Ruffman Powell doesn't take the additional run. A good bit of sportsmanship there. 22 runs in the final over. 64 runs in the last 5 for the West Indies. And they get over the 160 mark, which persons were talking about as perhaps a target score. 165 for 3 years where they'll end. Brilliant partnership in the end. 83 for 48. Innings has been a shock to straight in and straight out and made them pay. Wonderful.